So we're going to do a demonstration on creating an orthographic drawing of your Year 9 box project. So up to now you have designed and developed a design that you wanted to make. We've begun in the workshop, but obviously we haven't yet finished our project. So basic setup of the page, we're going to draw your design from the front view in this corner. Directly above that will be the plan view, so as if we're looking down into your box. And then across to the right-hand side, we're going to draw the side view. So it will be front view, directly above plan view, and then to the side, to the right-hand side will be the side view. And this method of drawing is called a third angle projection. And that's a standard drawing that we use in the UK here. There is also another alternative first angle projection, but because we don't do that in the UK, there's no point in us teaching you that. There are several line types that you need to be conscious of. There is an outline, which is a solid black line. You'll have construction lines, which we'll draw in pencil. Hidden lines or hidden details are all just dashes, all the same size in length, so if you can try to be consistent there. Then a dimension line we'll put on at the very end that usually has little downward trajectories, and within that dimension line it's broken where you put the dimension in, and the smallest arrowhead you can possibly try to draw on there. Then your final centre line is a dot dash, which indicates the centre, usually of a circle, a circular component. So to get set up, we will basically map out the area of the page. So you need a nice sharp pencil, and I always try to sort out and get the area for my front view. When I'm drawing, we indicate on the diagram, on the orthographic projection, the scale that we're using. So for me, I'm using a 1 to 1.5 scale, which means, if I show you this example here, if I draw a line that's 120 millimeters in length, the real world, the manufacturer, will make it 180. But what I would do is this dimension here, instead of putting 70, I would actually write the correct size in. So it's quite handy to get yourself prepared and draw your like a map view of what it is that you're trying to draw, such as this. Really rough it out a little bit, but put the measurements that you want to draw it to. But you'll need to obviously do a little bit of mathematics here. You can, if you prefer to draw it to half scale, that's also possible, but you can choose the scale you draw to as long as you indicate it at the bottom of your drawing there. Then obviously the manufacturer will know that despite it being smaller on the page, it's different size in reality. So getting on with the actual drawing of the design, you need a nice crisp pencil line all the way along, and it's important that you stick to 90 degrees. So when you place your ruler on the page, just be really mindful that your ruler is 90 degrees to the edge of the sheet of paper, as opposed to being on an angle and making an obtuse or otherwise acute angle. So just, positioning of your ruler is key to this. So I've just put on here a vertical line and a horizontal line as close to the bottom title as I can. Bearing in mind I need to put some measurements in here as well. Now, the size on paper, the scaled down size is 120 millimeters. So I'm just going to mark that down there on my paper and do it slightly above as well. And the reason that I'm doing the two markings is just to help me make sure that my pencil, or my ruler, is actually vertical and I'm getting that 90-degree line at all times. It's harder to get started, so start well and just double check your measurements as you go, especially in the earlier stages. The overall height of my box is going to be 70 on paper, which is 105 in reality. So again, that manufacturer can see that it's a scale drawing. You've got there the two lines going all the way across, so that straight away has mapped out the area for my front view, which effectively, if you were looking at your project, you'd be looking at it from the side onwards, but we refer to that as the front view because it's in that position on the page. Now, the plan view and the side view need to be an equal distance apart. So I'm going to make that 20 millimeters. I'm working in millimeters on this diagram. And you can choose a scale. So it depends on obviously the size of the product that you're designing or the design itself. So that is the start of my plan view that's being drawn now. So the plan view is 70 up. I'm just popping that on there, and then I will have my area mapped out. So what I have done, just whilst I'm pausing the video there, is I've mapped out the plan. I've mapped out the front view, which is indeed looking at the product from the side, and then what was referred to the side position. So as I said, it just depends on the position on the page, just decides what view it is that we're looking at. So the outline in any drawing is always going to be solid black, and also needs to be going on twice or the plan view, and directly onto my project, is just a basic rectangle shape with details in it. So I can pen that in immediately and know that I've got that right. However, the front view and the side view just down over here, that's a little bit more complicated in its shape, so therefore I'm going to leave those. I do, however, note that the base is solid and it goes along the entire length of the drawing, so I can put those in. So I'm now starting to map out key details that I've worked out prior to starting the working drawing, and then I can plan and map the area that I'm going to be drawing in for the side view. So it's just a little bit of working out, plotting your lines with a pencil and a ruler, and then I'll hopefully come back to you a little bit more detail on drawing. So you'll see on the camera there, very lightly, I mapped out the front view, which is the side view of my not just a box project. I'm going to pen this in now. Now, the reason that manufacturers and designers use this method of drawing is because it has its advantages in assisting with drawing the other views accurately, and the manufacturer will literally take what is on this drawing as a gospel. As in, if you make a mistake on here, they will make a mistake, even though it probably looks wrong. Anything that you draw on a working drawing will be made and manufactured without question. So you've got to be really, really careful that you check and double check the drawings that you've created. So I'm just putting in there the baseboard, which is the bottom of our box, and you'll see there that is the overall shape of my project. Now I have got some hidden details in here, as in I'm going to have a little divider, so I then need to use the hidden lines of my project. Standard drawing techniques for orthographic. So it's just equal laid dots and dashes as best you can, just to show those hidden details. So we don't dimension hidden details, they're just there to show that there's something hidden behind the surface, and to use as reference. So ultimately, I'm about there with that view, and I'm going to use this view now to help project lines onto my plan view. So the way that works is by using a pencil and the lines, and basically where this line follows up, it will just automatically be drawn on the top plan view. Now you'll see there I've already got that one in. I've got this hidden detail here as well. So now, because I've measured this view very carefully, I'm just projecting those lines on the top view of my drawing just to make things a bit easier. So the only ones I need to add in now are the lines going horizontal. You can see it was super simple to do that and to make those additions with very little effort. So once you get that one view accurately drawn, it lends itself to helping you draw the remainder of the design. So I'll just go in and fill this top part up, save a little bit of time, and put them. Now I won't add that level of accuracy and detail would be expected in this. So if you remember in the workshop, what we did do is we created a lap joint in the MDF, which effectively meant that from the longer pieces, we chiselled out, we cut and chiselled out just a shoulder, about 6 millimetres through the MDF, and then as you know from the tutorials and the video and practical work that we've seen and taken part in, those then are glued along this surface so that you create that box shape. So you'll see now I've got this plan view. Now this line's going all the way along because it's a change of direction. Whereas this line stops because this is the hidden insert that you can see in this front view here. So looking at it from that plan view, it's no longer hidden because you can actually see that section of MDF timber has been put to fit right within those walls. So that's why that little piece is shown as a solid line now, whereas in this view here, it's hidden behind the actual solid wall shape. So going back over, we're going to use those trajectory lines and transfer the information over onto our side view, which is the end view of our product, the shorter end. So we're just going to go across, pop those all in, and how to do that, I am going to pause the camera so that you haven't got to sit and watch me do this entire drawing. Also add that once you've got your three views, your front view, your plan view, and your side view, looking at the product in the end, it's to draw this off the page, you need to kind of go around the designs with a slightly thicker black outline, a bit like you did when you did your design ideas. So you should effectively have some thin lines, but all of the outlines should be thicker. To add dimensions, you must always add a dimension for the overall size of it, so that would be the absolute width and the absolute height and depth of this project, and they should be as consistent as possible. So when you put your dimensions in, try to keep your ruler in the same place, keep that parallel line, and you'll see here I've drawn two solid lines in pencil. So just to know that I'm absolutely sure, I'm going to put in the actual dimension, and I can pen it in and rub out afterwards. So I, on the page, have drawn that line of 120 millimetres, but what I do put in is the 180 that I want the manufacturer to make it to. So that is something that you need to remember when you put in your dimensions in. The width of the box is 105, and then the overall height of the box should also be included on here. Now I'm very cleverly using the markings on the ruler, so I know that I'm getting that nice even distance. So I'm making sure that the lines and markings on the ruler touching the axle line, and I'm able to put that dimension line in and know that it's parallel to the drawing. So when you're putting in a vertical dimension, turn your page and just put the actual measurement in. Please note that I'm not writing in millimetres as I have on that top corner. I'm just putting in the units because what I would put on the bar at the bottom is I would write in there that I'm actually using millimetres. So all units are millimetres. It just keeps this diagram so much more simple. So a couple of things that I need to make sure that I've mentioned. Dimensions should be placed on the inside views wherever possible, so try to keep them within the drawing neatly and not obviously repeating any of them. Avoid overlapping any lines where possible, just to keep it a bit neater. It's to be as clear as possible. We avoid any unnecessary repetition. So I've got the height here, which is 70. I certainly don't need to put the height here because the manufacturer will look, they'll see the trajectory line there, and they'll know that that height matches that height. So the overall height of this view is also 70. And hidden lines should not be dimensioned, so I would never dimension these dots and dashes, there's no need for that. But what I could do is I could put a dimension here on this one to show the height of that. And centre lines on circles. If you're going to do a circle, you need to put a centre line in so that they have a reference point, which marked out slightly differently to straight lines. And no dimension should overlap any solid lines, so I would never put a dimension line over here for this part. I would always try to bring it out of this on a different angle or a different size and a side of the drawing. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, give it your best shot and good luck.